Hi everyone, it's Bev here, your mental health coach, providing tips, tools, techniques and advice, helping you to stay mentally strong in these difficult times and beyond. The topic for this video is empathy overload. Now what I want to do is explain briefly what an empath is, moving on to what it feels like if you have empathy overload, particularly expressing the symptoms, simply because the symptoms of empathy overload can be confused with those of anxiety and depression. Now, whereby the symptoms can overlap, the remedies, the solutions are different. I want to also give you 3 pointers, things that you can physically do for yourself if you suspect that you are suffering from empathy overload. But first, what is an empath? Well, an empath is somebody that understands and feels the emotions of others. They feel the suffering, the distress, the heartache. They feel it. And their MO, what they want to do is offer help by listening, by just saying the right word at the right time. And you have to be an empath to be able to do that. I've said to you many, many times that an empath or being empathetic is a gift. It is indeed your superpower, because what is life if we cannot connect with another, if we can't help others, if we can't relate to other people? That's your superpower. However, it can be too much and we can get overloaded when we're giving it all out and not taking something back for ourselves. Now, you become overloaded when you not only take on have to deal with your own issues, and you take on the issues of the world and you feel it very deeply. The symptoms of being overloaded are these. First thing is that you are tired all the time. You are exhausted. You don't know why. You might be sleeping okay, you wake up exhausted. You may not be doing very much, you're just exhausted. You're taking on all this emotion. And in order to help yourself, you might withdraw. You don't want to hear anything. It's just overwhelming. It's too much. It's noise. So you go into yourself, whereby you become numb to people's plight. You may feel helpless and hopeless because there's nothing that you can do to soothe other people's pain. Another thing that you might find is that you just feel sad. You feel on the verge of tears and you don't know why or where it came from. You may also feel guilty because your life, when you look at it, is okay. And you feel guilty for having an okay life when there's so much going on in the world. Wherever you look, there is suffering. So what can you do about it? Well, I've put the pointers into 3 main headings: protection, self-care, and stepping back. So let's deal with the first one, because the first one is that you have to protect yourself. When you are suffering from empathy overload, it means your pores are open. You are susceptible to everything that comes your way. You take it on board, you take it seriously, you take it personally, in fact. Whereby others may sympathize, feel sorry for another person that's suffering, you take it on board, you worry about it, you can't stop thinking about it. So the first thing to do is to protect yourself, to create some boundaries whereby you ask yourself, is this me? Is this my issue? Or is it somebody else's issue? Is it somebody from across the world's issue that I can't help? And you need to create some barriers. And to that end, turn off the news, turn off social media, give yourself a break, take some time out. You don't need to know every nitty gritty that's going on in the world. Not knowing doesn't mean that you don't care. It might be that you care too much. The second thing is self-care. You need to take care of yourself, right? So there are so many ways that you can take care of yourself. So you need to make sure that you're eating properly, that you get nourished, because there's a lot of energy that you're putting out there to the world. You need to get exercise where you can. Even 20 minutes out in the fresh air can recharge your batteries. You need to make sure that you're getting meaningful sleep, good sleep, deep sleep, so that your body can heal and make sense of what's going on in the world. Take some time out to relax. Do nothing. Think nothing. Do things that bring you pleasure. Now, that might sound perverse, but even getting a sense of humor, finding your sense of humor, simply because you need to recharge your batteries. Mix with people that are up, that are positive, that are optimistic even, that are funny. Again, you are recharging your batteries. Learn meditation so that you can learn to be calm and still. If you don't like the idea of meditating, then learn to take some deep breaths so that you can protect yourself. The third thing that I want to bring to your attention is stepping back. Stepping back, because by stepping back, you change your perspective. You look at things differently. I, as well as millions of people, saw that mother, I think it was the mother, who lifted her child up and handed her child across the crowd in the airport in Afghanistan to a soldier. And it broke my heart. As an empath, I was thinking what pain that mother must have been going through to give up her child. But I'm here to tell you that when people are suffering, they have their own suffering. They are better able to deal with it than you suffering on their behalf. When people are going through their dark night of the soul, they develop a resilience, a courage, a strength that we can't even fathom, we can't comprehend through our TV screens or through social media. We just can't comprehend. And wasn't it empathy for a mother to pass her child up? Wasn't it empathy for those people that so wanted to get on the plane themselves that realized a child needs to go first? Wasn't it empathy that a soldier took that child when they could have easily said no? And wasn't it empathy from the mother to give her child in hope, in there is a future, and ultimately in love? And when you look at it, empathy is beautiful. It is so beautiful. And as I watched that and came to a different understanding that empathy is to give, I kind of realized that I'm not helping that woman by crying my eyes out on her behalf. If she knew that I was crying and distressed because of her, would she feel any better? Or isn't her act of courage, of selflessness, what life is all about? What will sustain us? that when we get through this, we will be connected in some way. So my message to you is, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling sad, if you feel on the verge of tears, it might be because you're suffering from empathy overload. It's not a weakness. Don't let anybody tell you that empathy, feeling too much, being oversensitive is a weakness. That is our human strength, and that is what's going to enable us to get through all of this together. Until next time, take care. Stay strong.